Okay, good.
All right, so we are talking to Drainage X. This band has a massive amount of energy, super passionate music, and you guys just rock the stage. When I see you guys play live, well, now we're playing live over Facebook, but when I follow you guys absolutely destroy, and I'm super excited to have you on the show. Are we talking to the whole band tonight?
Oh yeah.
All right, so we are talking to Evil, Ms. Evil, Toxic, Huntress, and Jonesy, right?
Yeah.
No, Huntress.
Huntress and Jonesy.
And Maestro.
And Maestro, yeah.
Maestro. Well, hey, it's great to talk to you. I'm super excited. I was looking into Drainage X for a little bit, and I could tell that you guys have been around for a while now. So maybe
ruining your life since 2002.
dude, hey, that's a long time to be in a band together. I know.
Correct.
I know it takes a lot to be in a band, and especially to have longevity in a band, you really have to love music. I always find that loving the music is the key formula, and you'll never stop doing it. So,
Nope.
Maybe I'll direct this question to Ms. Evil, but tell me the origins of how Drainage X came to be.
Well, that's a long story, so I'll give you the short version.
Sounds good.
I used to work for ICP, and then me and my husband got together in 2000, and in 2003 we decided to create a band, and we called it Drainage X. So we called up our homies at Psychopathic. They put us on point, put us on tour, put us on all these big shows, and they allowed us to spread the music that we love to people. And at this point, literally, we've had to create our own genre, and we're calling it cringe metal. But that's the story of DX. We've gone through about 30 drummers, a lot of different band members, but what we got going on right now is better than we've ever had before. The music is where it needs to be. We got the love, determination, all that stuff going on, and we feel really blessed to have it.
I love it.
Long story short.
No, I love it, and like I was saying earlier, to go through that many lineups and still have the passion and to continue this project is totally admirable, and I think that is super awesome of you.
After you make it like 10 years, a decade as a band, you have surpassed what most people's expectations are when they enter a band. Not many bands have that longevity, and we're at 18 years right now. That kind of doesn't happen. But Evil and I, we both decided that this is our life. This is what we want to do for the rest of our life. And there's nothing that's ever going to stop us because we're going for what we believe in. We will be the rulers of the underground.
That is awesome. I love it. All right, I'm going to direct this next question to Evil. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good. How are you, Omar?
Dude, I am doing great, man. So, like we were talking about, the band's been around 18 years, super longevity. How do you keep the same style or the same direction if that's what you're doing with having so many lineup changes? Like, how does that go? Do you just like talk to band members and tell them like this is like the direction you're going to go, or does it just constantly evolve with each band member?
Well, right now, as it was until the past year, I was the only writer. Miss Evil she helped with a lot of the lyrics and stuff, but I did all the music. And but now, past year or so, you've been in the band about a year, right? Yeah. So Toxic is writing with us too. So we're kind of like taking his style and mixing it with our style and coming up with something kind of new and exciting. But this is the first time in our career that I've had another writer, and it's always been me writing the music and then me and Miss Evil doing the lyrics. But I think it's good because writer, doing the music and then one or two writers doing the lyric, the music kind of sticks to the same beat, and it gets kind of boring. So I really appreciate the new writing of like Toxic because it gives us a new flavor, a new outlook, and it's really good, So I think that with our new direction and the new writing, we have a whole new arena of people we can reach instead of just like same old drainage acts, you know, or whatever. But because there's only 2 of us left out of the original drainage acts, so it's kind of hard when you lose all your members because they give up after like 13, 14 years because there's no money or they're not as famous as they thought they were going to be or whatever it is. They just give up on their dream and they quit for life. And they just, you know, they just move on to something. And most of the members that quit Drainage Jack, they don't even play music anymore. So it's sad. I wish they would have like quit us and moved on to another band or something at least, but they just quit music completely. So to me, that's disappointing. But with our new lineup, we got 5. This is our 6th album.
Awesome. I love it.
And with the new lineup, I think we're better than we've ever been. The musicianship, the writing ability, the connection, what we all have together, it's something new. And I think it's going to hit really hard. And so I'm just going with that, you know, and we're not quitters. Me and Miss Evil, we'll never quit.
Or die, baby.
Whether we make it or not. But I've seen shit and done shit that most bands wish they could do, right? You know?
Yeah.
My biggest crowd is like 40,000 people. I played the Coca-Cola Starplex, all the House of Blueses. I played Roseland Theater, all the big-ass venues here, the Convention Center. Did 3 national tours. We've won multiple awards, like in Vegas, and like Alita Ford gave us an award. Zach Wilde gave us guitars. You know, we partied with Alice Cooper. You know, I've sat there for hours and talked to Corey from Slipknot. You know,
our history is uncomparable.
Anna Nicole Smith, Ron Jeremy, Jack Osborne, Kelly Osborne. I mean, we've lived the dream, but we just never reached the goal we wanted to. But I think it was because we didn't have the right people. Something in our destiny was making us wait for the right people. Right now, I think we have the right lineup. We have something cool, something interesting, cringe metal. You know, this new term, cringe metal. That we created that stuff.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
I think we're going in the right direction.
Well, you know, I think, you know, it's important to, like, you know, have goals, but never have something that you plateau and then you call it quits, you know? Because I know, because I know bands, maybe, I don't know bands specifically, but maybe I'll just say as a whole, you know, some bands, you know, they'll play that big show and they'll quit, you know? But I think, you know, once you start playing with fire, it's how you deal with the fire that depends if your band's going to make it last or not, you know? Because, you know, being in the game,
we're not quitters.
Yeah. So, you know, being in the game, as long as you guys have, you know, you've been through the fire and you know, if you don't play nice, it might burn back, and it ended up with you guys being the only 2 left, and it just shows how much passion you guys have in you.
Well, that's why our logo is what it is. Our saying is what it is. Drainage X, ruining your life since 2002. We admit that and we own it. We own that shit straight up because we know, yes, we have blessings and all that good stuff, but in a way there's this really big dark cloud that follows us and we self-sabotage all the time.
Like Slayer.
But we've got the determination, the love, the heart, the kick-ass music, and the right people. And at this point, can't nobody stop us.
That is awesome. So let's move down into the other band members. Toxic, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How's it going, dude?
Good. How about you?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. Just here talking to some cool people, man. So, dude, so tell me how it is to work with Drainage X, and you know, and also, you know, all the history that the band's been through. How was your experience joining the band and just being in the band right now?
So my experience with Drainage has been fun from the beginning. how I originally met them is I'm a drummer. That's my main instrument. Been playing professionally off and on for over 20 years. So my other band, which is Harris Void, they're called Harris Void.
Yeah, I know them.
Just like a modern grunge band. They're like Seether, Alice in Chains, that kind of stuff. Anyway, yay! So their first show with the lineup that they had at the time, it was just Evil, Miss Evil, and a different drummer at the time. They didn't have a bass player, and my other band was playing with them at the time. And I mean, I'll be honest. The first time, I wasn't super impressed, but I definitely heard potential in the music.
And the people were awesome.
Yeah, the people were they're definitely awesome to hang out with. So then fast forward a few months later, they were playing a show called Women Crush Portland. It was like a show with like all female fronted bands at the east side in Portland. So they had a bass player at the time, and you call him that. Fine. And he was basically,
like every other note.
He was there, but he really wasn't playing. And I know I could sense the frustration in Evil and Miss Evil and the drummer that they were looking for, they needed a real bass player.
A real bass?
So I was interested in auditioning for bass. Now, I've never played bass professionally on stage at that point, but because I've been in bands for over 20 years, and for a number of years, my basement was the practice spot. So, of course, everyone would leave their instruments behind, so I kind of taught myself to mess around on a guitar and a bass and whatnot. And my fiance, who is Huntress in the band, she's the keyboard player, backup vocal, and flute player on some songs. And
most unique member at all.
So she originally wanted to try out for the bass of Drainage X.
He stole my audition.
Oh, damn, he did.
Yeah, so she is classically trained. She doesn't necessarily know how to play by ear, but she, you give her sheet music and she can play anything. So I was trying to figure out the music for her to play for her audition, and I was actually having a lot of fun doing it. I'm like, hey, I want to do this, but at the time I was already in 2 other bands. And so, anyways,
I talked him into taking it.
So we both went out together, and she jammed. She messed around a little bit. And then she had to go excuse herself for a few minutes, and hey, I want to play. So then I ended up playing every 6 minutes with them because I knew how to play it, and then I had fun doing it. And that was my first time ever auditioning for a band that was where I was playing something other than drums.
And you killed it.
So I was the drummer. So I was the bass player for about a year, and then we had a personnel change where I replaced the drummer they had at the time. So I'm now back at drums, which is my bread and butter. And then, of course, we have Huntress, my fiance, who's keyboard player, backup vocal, and flute player.
And the most awesome lady in the world.
And then Maestro. And then we have Maestro, who is the bass player, and she's a very phenomenal bass player. Has a background, a graduate of where?
She has her bachelor in jazz improv from the University of Washington. She was one of the horrible 2020 graduates.
And that's Huntress.
Yeah, this is Huntress saying that, but Maestro just finished her degree. She has to put up with all us old people because she's just out of college.
She's 23?
Two.
So she's the youngest of the band.
That's awesome.
So, that's how... So, anyways, that's
the most talented
yes.
band.
Yes.
So that's how I got involved with Drainage X. So I've been with them for almost a year and a half now. And I still play drums in my other band, Harris Void, so I still juggle 2 bands.
And Huntress's story is way cool too.
Well, let's hear from Huntress. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic because I'm talking cool people in Drainage X.
Well, I think I'm glad to see that your family is all safe. We were all worried when you were stuck in those fires.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing that didn't burn up was my metal spirit.
Yeah.
So
And your
Hunter,
baby is beautiful. Your baby is beautiful. You have a great baby.
We love you. We have mad respect for Sandy, Rain, and you, Omar. You're the shit.
hey, thanks. And I'm actually I'm gonna make sure my baby becomes a drummer. So that's the goal.
Oh, yeah.
We have enough singers. We have enough guitar players. He's either gonna be
Drummers.
he's gonna be
We need more keyboard players too. There's
That's-
less and less of them every year.
That's true. So, Huntress, tell me about you joining Drainage X, bringing in the keyboards, the flute, the backup vocals, and just tell me your whole experience since you joined the band. For a short, and a long story short.
Okay, I will try really quick to talk fast, but I'll try not to talk too fast.
Okay.
So, most of my music life has been church music and classical music. I started out college as a music major. I have had very little exposure to heavy metal music.
Okay.
My first band outside of church experiences was rock and blues. And when I met Mr. and Ms. Evil for the first time, I was in a country band. And Toxic over here was my drummer. Yeah, Smoke Wagon rocked. We were really good, but there were some personal issues, and after the lockdown, one of our guys had some couple deaths in the family and some tragedy things. And he said, "I just can't do this anymore." And he was the singer and the songwriter, so we kind of had to, disband. And I've been hanging out with Crystal and Evil because I met them the same time Toxic did. As a matter of fact, we were on a date when we met them. Well, at the second time. The first time I was there being a groupie for a Harris Boyd show, but the second time when we really got to know them was at the Women Crush Portland, and we were there because our good friend Brenda was the booker. It was at Eastside, and we went on a date. That was before we were engaged.
Yeah. Quick shout out to Brenda and Scott.
Yeah, Metal Productions, and also quick shout out to Eastside. We've met a lot of good people there. All the people in this room.
Erebus.
And Erebus, it's a great place too. But anyway, I went to go do the audition, but I could tell when he was learning the songs for me that it was what he really wanted. Because I'm classically trained on flute and piano. And then I taught myself with, a couple of suggestions here and there to do keys instead of actual classical and church piano. And then our bass player left my old band for a little while, so I learned how to play bass so we could have a bass player because that was more important than keys. So anyway, we'd all been hanging around. Ms. Evil and Evil have been great supporters. They came to every one of my country shows, even though they're heavy metal and rap people. They were just super supportive of Toxic and I and our other bands. They always have been. And so when my band stopped, I just started kind of hanging out with them, playing a little bit with backing vocals.
Always practicing your bass.
And now they've practiced in my basement. Actually, they started practicing in my basement before I was in the band. But, the very first show I ever did with them was a live stream, and I didn't play keys. I only sang and did flute because I'd only been with the band for a week and a half.
And you schooled it.
And then the next time we did a show was the whole new lineup, and we'd all been playing together for 2-3 weeks, something like that. Made a trip to California for work and came back, but it has been great because they're so open to creativity. They want to try new things. I mean, who in the world has heard of flute in a heavy metal shock rock band?
Never.
Jethro Tull was not heavy metal shock rock.
I know, but Jethro Tull came to me in a dream. He said, "Evil, she needs to play flute on Space Mountain."
I love Jethro
I
Tull.
want to come back.
He's awesome.
Great. And I said, "Okay, sorry."
That's awesome.
Well, I think you want the truth.
Jethro Tull is alive
You want
again.
the truth? I had a cabin reserved with my boss out near Bend for when we were all supposed to play that festival in May. Remember that we got locked out of? Your band was playing on
we were playing.
Sunday. We were playing on Saturday, or you were playing on Saturday. We were playing on Friday,
What was
something like
the name
that. It was the one in Bend, the big festival in
in
Bend.
May.
It was supposed to happen in May. You remember what that one was, Omar?
Central Oregon Metal Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron
So
Torres.
we all got the cabin together because my boss owns one, and it was super nice. Let's be there. And so we had just brought out, because we didn't get to do the show, we just brought all our acoustic instruments, and we all messed around and played around. And it shocked them when I pulled out a flute and started playing. They're like, "Oh my God, you got to do that in bass." I'm like, "Okay."
That's awesome.
And so we've added the keys, and we've added and I'm learning how to I've even learned to growl a little bit.
Oh my God,
It's kind of hard singing.
I taught her how to head sing. It's beautiful.
And
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the opera is easy because that's what I do. I'm a classically trained soprano.
What's the name of the band?
So coming into the low alto songs with her and coming into the growling has been a learning experience. The opera's kind of like a little bit of relief for me.
Yeah, these two are the greatest gifts that we are blessed to have because they complete us.
But I mean, we're truly a family. You know,
I love it.
We hang out with each other. We hang out with each other's kids.
I have a back case.
Obviously, Toxic and I live in the same house because we're engaged. We got engaged in February. We're getting married next June. Hopefully, you guys will make it. And then our bass player, Maestro, lives here with us.
I hate it, but it's still.
And so, you know.
That's awesome.
We do a lot of stuff together like a family. I mean, heck, my parents are going to be moving, and everybody showed up at my parents' house to help pack things.
Mom and Dad.
Everybody's just, we do stuff for each other. We love each other. We're a family. We'll be here forever.
And that's it.
And now we took over the East Side Bar and Grill. We're the booking agent, so there's all of us working on that.
Yep.
So we're
That's
going to
awesome.
get some, and
turning it into a heavy metal bar.
yeah, it's a punk rock bar. But what's cool about it is I think this is the first bar in Portland that actually the band was the main promoter of the club.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we've already worked a deal. We're not getting paid. All the money that we're supposed to make goes straight to the other bands. We want the bands to be treated like royalty.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What people mistake, and it's happened for years and years and years, is the bands are slaves and everybody else makes the money. Well, bullshit that. The bands need to make the money. And the venues, I don't really care. You know what I mean?
They make the money off the liquor.
It's time for the bands to shine for one.
Yeah.
And with us in control of that, I think it can happen a little bit better.
Mhm.
I think Mike Thrasher had that originally idea, but
He did.
God rest his soul. But we want to do a little bit differently. We want to make sure the bands understand that their promotions are appreciated. Their music is appreciated. Their spirit's appreciated. Everything they do is appreciated because we as bands, we do all this stuff and we're put on the back burner and they act like, well, what did you do? Well, we did all this. What did you do? Oh, I made money off liquor sales.
Well, and I have to say, I love that we're doing the promotions and the bookings for
It's already just straight at Jacksalona bar. I buy myself like $2,000.
I was going to say,
But we created what's called DX Presents. It's been a business for almost 20 years now. We used to have this festival we do each year. It's called Zombie Writers Fest. So we're going to bring that back. But DX Presents is about the bands. We're not about making money. We're about making sure the bands, that their music is heard. They are who they want to be. Nobody's going to try to change them, and we support that. DX Presents is about the bands. We're a promotions agency. We're a booking agency. We do entertainment, and we've been doing this for a long time. We used to bring artists from Psychopathic and other labels out to like Vegas or wherever we wanted them to play. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that would come, and we ran it from start to finish. Permit, freaking security, all of that was done by us. And it's not only because we're musicians, but we also have amazing business sense.
And that's because we came from Vegas.
No, because me and Evil, we own businesses. Well, we know how to run them properly, and that's how we look at this. We look at it as a business, but we also look at it as a huge family, and we're so blessed for having what we got.
well, and you know, this is Huntress. One of the things I love about the fact that DX Productions DX Presents is making its restart with Eastside Bar and Grill is, you know, you hear some people talk about it being a dive bar, and you hear people slanging it and saying ugly things sometimes. But I have to say, I have met some of the best people there. I always have an amazing audience there. The first show I ever played in a band that wasn't church-related, that we actually got a little bit of money because we got to split a door, was at Eastside Bar and Grill. That was a couple bands ago. The first time I ever got to see my fiance play live music was at that venue. The first time I ever got to see and meet Mr. and Ms. Evil was at that venue. And you know what, Omar, you're gonna love this. But Omar, the first time I saw you play, and actually I've only seen you play once. Insanity's Reign was playing with Warpath.
Yep.
Wait, nope.
I'll tell you what, that was the show that made me actually begin to
Oh, yeah.
And you were such a nice guy, and you and I've chatted on Facebook quite a bit, and I love all the stuff you put on there about your family, that you're just a real person. But that little venue, that it's not huge, but it's not that small. I've seen it standing room only. But I have some of the very best memories and the best people I've met and the best people that are still a part of my life from that location, and it helps me fall in love with a new genre of music. I mean, how amazing is that? I already love country music and rock and blues and classic rock, and I love classical music, and I used to play it on the piano and sing it in choir in college and did all those things. But how cool to get to love another kind of music that totally sets me free, and that's what heavy metal is.
He gave us a chance. He said nobody knew us on the scene, and when we came here, they were afraid of us because they saw our background. Oh, they got the blood, they got this reputation with the Juggalos and all that stuff. So that we were damned before we even started. But we complied. We said, okay, we won't bring that particular part of our stage show, but we're still going to bring the killer music. And Steve and the East Side and Britta, they accepted us. They got us tons of shows. She promoted us, so did Steve. And we are really lucky to have this opportunity to come in and say, hey, it's not just about Drainage X, it's about the scene. We support the other bands. We're there. And that's how we gained our reputation out here. We show up to all the shows. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of bands go out there anymore and say, hey, I'm here to support you. We have daily lives. We work a lot. We have our own businesses, but yet we make time to go and support the bands that we love, like you, Warpath, all these other bands, Conflict of Interest, Nexus, Dead Nexus,
Conflict Radio.
Yeah, Conflict Radio. I mean, all these other bands, we're at their shows. And very quickly, we gained respect out here because they understood it was not just about us. We're about the music. We're about the scene. And when we arrived on the scene in Vegas in 2003, there was no scene whatsoever. And I am proud to say to this day, Drainage X created the scene in Las Vegas. We took that place, we took the skills that we all have and the love and the passion that we have for music, and we put that place on the map, plain and simple.
You know, I was like a drill sergeant to the band because when Drainage X originally created, I was the lead singer. I wrote the music on guitar and showed it to the other guitarists because we had a rhythm guitarist and a lead guitarist. So I didn't play guitar for the first, 13 years of the band. I was just a singer. And,
yeah.
after doing all that, I just realized that, I need to be playing guitar. I need to find someone else to lead the singing because I felt like I was abandoning my talent by letting someone else play my music. And so I heard Miss Evil, like she was singing in the car one day or whatever, and I told her, you know what, you should be the singer of the band, And so we put her up in there, and most of the band didn't agree with that. They were like, no, I don't want that. Female singers aren't the thing, It's a oxymoron for metal. Chick singer ain't going to make it. No one's going to come see you. And so I had to take her side, and we went with her instead of the rest of the band. But I think it was the best decision we ever made because 2020, even I've been saying this since the beginning, it's the year of the woman. So,
and a lot of destruction and chaos.
Just because of the last 5 years, a lot of women-fronted bands have moved from nothing to great front position spots in the music industry, and
we actually now have more women in the band than men.
Yeah, there is more women than men in the band.
All right. So we have maybe 5 minutes left in the interview. I want to remind everybody that we're talking to Drainage X here on the Metal Mixtape on KSKQ FM. So I'm gonna move it over to Maestro really quick since we're almost out of time.
She had to step out.
Yeah, she's not here.
Oh, okay.
She is stuck out of leave and go to work.
All right.
But
All right. So
are we allowed to promote live shows while we're talking to you?
what's up?
I said no. Are we allowed to promote live shows while we talk to you?
Yeah, as long as you don't mention the price. But well, what I wanted to get.
No price. All I want to say is if you're in the Portland area, Drainage X is going to be doing a live show at Eastside on Saturday with Goldberger and Harris Boyd.
Yes.
7 o'clock.
All right, I think that's awesome. So, in 5 minutes, it could be anybody. Tell me a little bit about the new album, The Rebirth.
Okay, so the new album, the reason we named it 2020 The Rebirth, I wrote like most of all the songs a long time ago, and it seemed funny because back then it was a little outdated. They didn't really go with the times, right? Because they were all about end of the world and the apocalypse and all that stuff. But it seems like 2020, all these songs fit. They fit for 2020. They all pertain to everything that's going on in the world right now. So we redid them songs, and then Toxic wrote some songs and added to it. And so we decided instead of the album was supposed to be called End of the World, but since we've added all these great new musicians, we decided, you know what, 2020 is Drainage X's rebirth. Because we've got a great new sound. It's more complete. It's more tight. It's more, musician-wise. It's more about the music than the business side of the band.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I've helped with that. This is Toxic. So I come from a progressive rock background and like a death and a black metal background. So for me, it's like since they were willing to let me participate in the songwriting and stuff. Again, I come from kind of a more of a quality control kind of approach, and I don't like to write simple, catchy business stuff. I like to write. I mean, it's still straightforward and it seems that way, but some of the stuff is a little bit more harder to play. I know Evil sometimes got frustrated with some of the songs that I would try to show him.
It's just weird timing, man. How
to play, and yeah, I mean, again, it's about quality control, and I wrote the music to 2 songs that are going to be on the new CD. And so, like, one of them has more kind of like an eerie kind of doom metal kind of vibe, and then there's like another one where musically it's kind of heavy. How would I say it? It's like a heavy kind of speed pitch, almost like a Marilyn. It's like a combination of like a Marilyn Manson song mixed with like a couple Morbid Angel style riffs. But the beat is like a combination of maybe Marilyn Manson, Beautiful People, and then like Blondie, Call Me. Because it's like one of those, I kind of wanted like an intense kind of in-your-face type of song, but you can kind of dance and groove with it at the same time.
That's awesome. I love Blondie.
Blondie! Well, okay. And, we do a Black Sabbath cover, which we do Chill in the Grave, and it's really
that's my
cool.
favorite song.
Yeah.
However, it's not on the album, but...
we got girls singing all these parts.
Yeah.
And it's
Evil,
really cool, but
when I get to sing it, and it's
what
so
I think is
fun.
cool is we don't care about, like, playing covers because we have fun with it. Our next cover we're doing is going to be Meatloaf, and it's going to be
Life is a Lemon.
Life is a Lemon, and I want my money back. Yeah. We're going to take that and make it hardcore in a 7-string progression. It's going to be, like, deep and cool, but, we're just trying to have fun. Just have fun.
And make good music and make everybody else have fun around us.
I love
Our
it.
whole career's been about business, and now I think we flipped the script, and it's not about business so much. I don't care about the money or anything like that. All we care about is the music now.
Yep.
And see, where Evil noted earlier that he used to be a drill surgeon, and he would tell people like what to do and what to hold as far as what to play and what not to play. And I'm not that kind of person. And even if I did know him during that period, for me it's about music integrity. For me, it's about music integrity is number one. Screw business, and I'm not afraid to tell, hey, this sucks.
And I appreciate you teaching me that, Toxic.
Well, and here's the other thing that I think really makes a difference is that when you're in your early 20s mid-20s, teens, and you're doing a band, it is about, if that's what you're trying to do for a living, that is survival. When you're in your 40s and doing a band, it's, you all...
Where am I getting my wheelchair in?
Well, no. It's about, we already have lives. We already have jobs, careers, businesses. We support ourselves. It is no longer scrabbling and being willing to do whatever it takes to make money. It's scrabbling and being willing to do whatever it takes to make good music. And there's a difference.
I love it. I love that. Well,
Omar, we're down with you guys. You do a great job, dude. Because you're in a band. We've heard you a couple times, and we've talked to you a couple times personally. But you know what? People don't realize what you really do for the scene. And to me, what you do for the scene is amazing, dude. Because it seems like you guys are about the music, and you're trying to save the integrity of the bands and show the world that, hey, it's about the music and the band, A lot of people don't do that. They're all about, like, how many albums do you sell? How many fans you got?
Well, no, hey, you know what? I appreciate that because, I work full-time, 40 hours a week, and then I practice 2 times a week, and then I'm a publicist 7 days a week. And but I do it all for free because I love music, and honestly, it's my antidepressant, and if I'm not and if I'm not doing music, I'm miserable, and when I do music, I feel like I'm a way better son, brother, father, partner, So but you know what? Take it back to Drainage X. I'm excited for 2020, the rebirth. It's going to be super awesome. Before I let you go, each band member, tell me one thing that people can expect from the new album.
Go ahead.
This is Huntress. I would say that one new thing from the new album that you can expect is an expanded instrumentation. We have really added a lot with the keys and the flute and the extra backing vocals, both male and female. I think that's a huge one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that in every 6 minutes. I love the compliment of the vocals. Yeah, all right, continue.
Medieval says we're going to melt faces. You have no idea what's coming. We've been underestimated since day one, and we will be legendary.
Let's do this. I love it.
Go ahead, Tom.
I would definitely say that compared to some of the older CDs that I have listened to from their back catalog, that the newer music, as much as I love some of those older songs and that we have brought back, that the music now is a little bit more tighter, a little bit more focused, a little bit like more tighter, more focused, more structured. Where in the past, where you got some really kick butt type songs that, certain parts to me, from my, it's either too busy or a little too much. It's kind of a combination of like knowing when to play and what not to play, the difference between a good musician and a great musician type thing.
That's awesome. Yep. I like it. Who are we missing? Last person.
Evil. Me. Always missing me. I'm just the low end of the garbage bag. I would just say that, what I like about the new album is it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's so important. I mean,
we can do whatever we want. We can say whatever we want. And it's all about what's going on right now. And
you could probably tell by just listening to the CD itself when it comes out that you can tell that there's good energy on the CD, that we had fun writing the songs, we had fun recording the songs, we were in a great environment that we recorded at Black Diamond Studios, and Andy is a great sound engineer. And compared to where like maybe some of the older ones, there was more of a focus on like, the business. It's like, let's try to make it like, can we get on the radio? Can we get famous or whatnot here? It's like that kind of, we don't care vibe. We just want to have fun vibe. You definitely hear it more on this record compared to some of the past catalog that I have heard.
Yeah, because we're not letting producers and engineers and venue promoters to like control our music.
Absolutely.
We're actually controlling our own music now, man. We're
That's-
having fun with it, and that's all that matters. I don't care if I make a freaking dime ever. As long as I can touch one person's life that says, hey, I had fun with that band, I'm all down for it, and I'm going to buy them fucking a drink.
Well, hey, I think that's a great way to end it right there. Thank you so much, Drainage X, for making time. We were talking to Ms. Evil, Toxic, and Huntress, and Maestro was here for a couple seconds or a couple of minutes. I should. Next.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to chat with you, Omar.
Of course, and next year.
Let's play a show. Can you guys play October 30th with us?
We're on hiatus till March because we have a whole new slate of songs, and we're gonna have an album release show. So maybe you guys can play our album release in March. So, but we'll hit you guys up. Much love. You're listening to Drainage X here on the Metal Mixtape. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
Metal Mixtape. You as well.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye. And that was Drainage X from Portland, Oregon. They absolutely destroy. You are listening to the Metal Mixtape here on KSKQ 89.5 FM, Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM, Medford, Oregon, and streaming online on KSKQ.org. And you can download KSKQ on. We played Chuck Berry tonight. We played Unleash the Archers tonight, Drainage X.